Hey everyone, welcome to episode 7 of the podcast. I'm Alan.
And this is Steven.
Who's playing a 40 card pickup or 36 card pickup now. Today, if you've been a fan of our episodes and you're watching them in order, we're going to be kind of going over the cards that have been spoiled thus far for the game. We're going to do each episode a different faction, so we rolled a die before we started this episode so we could set up the share screen, which you're seeing there. And we rolled Old Eidolon for today's episode. So that leaves 3 other factions for 3 other episodes. And yeah. So go ahead and tell me what you know about Old Eidolon there, Steven.
Yeah, so Old Eidolon seems to be a bunch of, kind of the old rich money individuals who essentially want to keep their power. They don't really want to share it with anyone else. But the mechanics of green seems to be a lot of defense and shard generation from what I'm seeing out of those select cards. Like you got your shard winner, which generates two shards instead of 1 if you have them in, I believe your...
Looks like there's, in the starters, you got Disagreeable Inspector.
Yeah.
You have Transit Station. You have Shard Winner. And you have the Agent Gargala Larga.
Yeah.
And those are the cards. Of course, Chairman Bo Pax being the Seeker that was in these starters as well. So...
Yeah, very sure. And I think like the transit system is really cool. Like it plays on like whether you're in the front row, the middle row, either gains health or gains barrier costs. Okay, just an agreeable inspector that can like take down somebody's barrier cost by 2, and then also they can be exhausted or, as most people know in Magic, tapped for shards. So. I think there's a lot of playability. Gargala Larga, he seems to be like using Chairman Bo Power or whoever your Seeker is to unexhaust them, but to get rid of them, or as a cost to get rid of them and take them as an agent for your win condition. The engaged player has to exhaust their Seeker. So there's definitely some mechanics at play. It seems like, again, it's not 100% full formed, again, just because these are preview decks. So I'm pretty excited to see what other cards are available out of the faction that kind of gives us a clearer picture of the mechanics of how the green faction kind of operates. So, or even how like other factions can maybe combo off of each other.
Right. And the one thing I noticed that he kind of touched on is you see a lot of like row play and column play. So like if the shard winner's in the council path, which is like the column, then it gets this benefit. Or if it's in the commons path, it gains this benefit. Or the transit system, if it's in the front row, it gets this benefit. Or if it's in the middle row, it gets this benefit. Or Chairman Bo Pax, if you have more cards in your front row. So they play a lot more with the grid.
Mm-hmm.
Placement on the grid, whether it's a row or a column, seems to, at least from what we're seeing here, be a bigger thing. Which would make sense because they're old money. They put a lot of money into the infrastructure of the hub world, so that would equate to something there that would happen. So that makes sense. Before we get started on this, I'll have Steven do since I did the first episode, brief introduction to who we are, Team Hisshou, and just in general, what we're doing with the podcast, in case this is the first time you dipping in.
Yeah, for those of you that don't know, we are 2 best friends that have played competitive card games in the past as well as board games, and really just passionate about this new game called Hub World Eidolon that we are trying to get gauge some interest on and possibly get people involved before the game releases in 2027. We are already backing the game. We have these preview decks that don't have a lot to it, but enough to where we can kind of see the mechanics of each 4 factions in the game, and we really want to kind of showcase the game through podcast talks and live gameplay that kind of can give you some more insight on the game. And we'll talk more about the game in each of our episodes and or some of our gameplay as well. So yeah, that's kind of our goal. We've also got some other things going on. We've got Alan who's building his very own card game called Vista, which is really cool. And then secondly, right, we want to get some more community engagement and involvement. So we're going to be trying to host a tournament using preview decks from Hub World Eidolon to kind of get our first tournament within the Ohio region going, which would be really cool. But yeah, I think that sums it up.
Right. Sounds good to me. Did I? Oh, there it is. I was going to say I'm missing an agent here. It's kind of splaying these out so we'd have access to them in case we want to talk about them in relation to what we see with the previews. Mm-hmm. I was also kind of curious. You only get 4 cards, or 2 cards, 2 of 2 cards for the purple faction, which was kind of... But they're such good cards because Fun Run and Dragon's Horde.
Yeah, I think out of all the cards in each of the factions, you can definitely see, at least for the preview decks that we have, there's kind of some factions have more than others. It seems like green and purple have like less, and then like blue and orange are they have a lot more cards in these preview decks. So I think when it comes to like purple, for sure that has like the least that we've seen out of the cards, least amount of cards. There's definitely some really they're all really powerful. So it's kind of interesting to see, what is available that's spoiled for us that we can kind of see and maybe gauge kind of the strategy of it. Because even with green, which I think we're going to be talking about today, also has like the second to least amount of cards, and like they're also very powerful. So super excited to get into it with you guys.
So we start with, and these are all off of, I want to give credit where credit's due. We're looking on Hub Techie. It is a website that allows you to play other people remotely for free in Hub World Eidolon. We haven't gotten the joy or experience yet with using Hub Techie. We know of its existence. They have a card database, though, and that's what we're accessing. And what you see here, we've set the search faction to Old Eidolon, which is the green faction. We rolled randomly, like we do at the beginning of our Herb World matches, a D4 to see who was going to be the first episode of our preview reviewing. So, as you can see, it starts off with, must be in alphabetical order because we're starting off with an A here, Asset Protection Hub. So the first thing, we scroll down a little bit. So this is an obstacle. For those of you that don't know, an obstacle is going to be something that's probably going to have like an obstacle cost, a presence cost, an actual cost, and it's going to have something else that it does there. So there's the obstacle cost there. So you'd have to pay 1 every time you're going through your pathway, and there's that obstacle is in that pathway. You'll have to pay 1 as a tax, regardless of what you do. But unless it is exhausted or tapped, depending on your lingo that you're comfortable with, if that's the case, the opponent has the ability just to hop over it and not engage with it unless they want to for whatever reason.
Sure.
So it's going to have an obstacle cost of 1, but a presence of 4. So that's, even if you pay the one, you could get rid of it. You could destroy this location, but it's going to cost you 4 to do so. And if you've been watching our playcast, at least with these play decks, 5 is not an easy number to come through. You're more than likely just going to pay the one and pay your toll and go through the bridge. This is interesting. It does have, as you can see, the 3 pips at the bottom, so you'll need at least 3 green agents to afford this in your deck.
Wow.
So it's a 3-coster. It only costs 2 for 1 with a 4, so that's good. It has a refund 1, as this card is presence is broken, i.e. they paid the 4 to get rid of your asset protection hub. Then you get a refund of 1.
Which is nice.
So ultimately you're paying 2 up front with the extra added benefit. If they're going to spend a ton of money to get rid of it, you're gaining 1. Let's see. While this card is forged, each adjacent agent, and that's agent, so the guys that you score to win. Oh, and obstacle. I didn't get far enough. Gets +1 obstacle cost,
which is really nice. We've seen in the gameplay demonstration, like, obstacle costs are annoying, and if you can make it even harder for your opponent to get through as they are delving in either your commons, council, or archives, I think this is a pretty cool card. It's something I'd slap right in the middle of my council column. That way.
Well, it's even better, like, if it's in front of... So if you put that in, like, the front row, and then behind it is an obstacle that's going to get +1 obstacle cost, then behind that is your agent, you're literally taxing one plus, or +1, whatever's behind it, to even get to the agent, which then you'll have to pay, because usually agents will have an obstacle cost on them, as we'll see later when we get to cards like Gurgala and a presence cost. So, like, even this Gargala Larga, he's the green agent from the preview decks, and his obstacle cost is 4. So let's say the asset protection is directly in front of it on the grid. Now you got to pay 5. So you got to pay 1. Then you got to pay 5 to even pay the 1 to get to score the agent. So that's already like 6, 7 just off of that. So yeah, that can make scoring agents very difficult. The fact that it'll actually apply that to an agent's really interesting. And for 2, it's not like a bad cost. Now, it being an obstacle is not going to give you any assets in the form of, there is no instant cast like draw a card or gain a shard. So it's literally there to be a barrier. But I'm going to say that, I mean, this is the very first card of any faction, too, that we've reviewed. So that being considered, I don't know where to place it. But if I were to give it just where I am right now, I would say that with the limited knowledge I have of what else, because this is the first card in green I'm seeing, and the first card of any faction I'm seeing outside of what we've seen in preview decks. I'd say it's a solid 3 of 5.
I agree. I think it's got a lot of versatility to it, especially considering its synergy with other cards, no matter what faction they're from. I think it's really good.
But I wouldn't say it's not like extremely wowing me. I'd say it's solid. Yeah. That's why I have 3 of 5. It's above a 2.5. It's above the complete average mark. It's slightly above average. If I knew more of the game, like we'd seen more cards or seen other factions, I could gauge it a little better how much +1 would actually do. But without knowing all that, I'm going to reservedly give that a 3 of 5.
Okay. I would do the same.
Okay, so is there any artist credit, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so nothing. Next up, Bubble Map Kiosk. Again, refund 1. So this seems, I don't know if that's just randomly the top 2 cards both have refund, or if that's going to be a consistent theme going through.
I think so, honestly. That's my initial impressions.
But 2 cost. It looks like it draws you a card. It has a card draw to it. And it also has that instant speed. As you begin discovering cards in a commons. So that's interesting. It says you begin. So it won't affect the opponent discovering your cards because you have to be the one discovering.
Well, I think it would impact. It's when you're right. You're discovering your opponent, right? You're delving your opponent.
Wait. No. I think it's the deck.
Yeah. So I think it's when you're like
I was
delving
trying
your
to think because I think this is called the grid. You're going towards commons, but the fact that this deck is listed as commons on the mat, I think that means literally the discovery of the cards flipped over there.
Yes, yeah, and I think that would impact your opponent, right? Because you would be discovering your opponent's cards, right?
I was wondering if it worked in reverse too, but it says when you do it because if you got this benefit too when your opponent runs on your commons, it would be really cool, but. Discover from the bottom of that commons.
Interesting. So you just take from the bottom.
Well, no. It's even better than you think. This is huge. This is already in my mind. I haven't looked at the rest of this, but 2 for a card draw in that ability at instant speed. Mm-hmm. It says exhaust this card. Okay, I was looking to see if it just happened. For a minute there, I didn't see the exhaust this card. Mm-hmm. So I thought you just got that instant speed ability as long as it was ready.
As long as you triggered it.
Yeah. But still, 2 for refund 1, draw a card with that ability instead of draw a card is huge. Because, think about the games we have. If you could run Delve Commons, you go 4 down and you see no Seeker. Would it not be better to go Delve Commons 2 and look 4 from the bottom?
I agree.
Because you already know what the top 4 cards are. You know you're searching a dry well.
And we know we've played games where it seems like everything is concentrated underneath and you're like, where are these agents, right? Where are these agents hiding at? And I think definitely it would be a good card to have in your deck, at least one of.
And it's only 2 pips. You only need 2 green.
Yeah, that's not bad at all.
No. 4 presents too. It's going to be hard to remove. And when you do, I get a money back.
Yeah.
No,
I think that's
okay. The fact that you have to tap it.
Yeah. It's definitely on a round basis. I mean, I think it's good because I guess how often are you going to be delving your commons versus your council versus your archive? So I think
if this is a bleed color, you're not green primary,
no,
but you're green secondary, and you're an aggro deck, a Goldie deck where you're trying to just go ham, and get that heat up. Being able to, open up more, or Jaco and Ace in purple.
Yeah, I would definitely say
where you're sacrificing for early push.
Yeah.
I feel like the ability to up your avenues with a card that's giving you resources, it's giving you card draw at least. So even if you don't need it, it will do something. It's not an obstacle. Mm-hmm. I feel like Goldie decks and Jaco and Ace decks, and this is just my thought off of the base knowledge I have, might not care as much about obstacles.
Probably not.
As much as about getting their resources so they can push harder, faster, stronger.
Yeah.
So, I'm going to give this a solid 4 out of 5, I think.
Yeah, I'd give this a solid, probably 3.5 to 4. Yeah.
I would say it's a 4 if it's an off color. If you're in color, maybe a 3.52. I would say. I don't know how aggressive green's going to want to be. True. But then again, if they're staying back for the longest and trying to build up their grid, they're going to need to be able to push farther and deeper late game because they gave up the early game to set up grid state. True. So it may work for them there. So I'm going to stay at a 4 either way. I'm going to keep that 4 or 5. All right. That's interesting. And the reason I talk about it being highly customizable is because it has 2 pips, so you only need 2 of your agents to be green to be able to deck build that in. So you would still be able to go 4 into your primary color with 4 of your primary color agents, 2 of green, and then you would be able to keep that in as an offset color. I think in that would be huge. So yeah, I think because of its low cost on the deck building side, 2 pips. I think that's a really really good get. So okay, there's the Chairman Bopax, which we've flashed around a little bit. He's the heir of Pax Industries. Funky alien looking dude. He has an instant speed card draw. He's obviously the green. He only needs one agent to pip him.
Wow.
I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how all these Seekers are, if they're all one pipped or what.
Agreed.
Of course, he says that you have a max hand size of 5 and a max coin or shard count or whatever they're calling the money resource of 10. So at the start of your turn, if you're over 5 cards in your hand, and if you're over 10 money, then you have to discard down to those appropriate thresholds. And you'll start the game with 5. So it's not like you're even going to start the game with 10. So you will have a starting hand of 5, though. And of course, he has an ability. His ability is an action ability. That little arrow symbol means he has to actually tap or exhaust to use his ability. If you have more cards in your front row than your opponent or your rival, which is what I guess the terminology they're going for. Did it have rival in this? Yes, it did. Exhaust this card, which I already talked about. They gain 1 heat. So you can give them a heat. For those of you that may not know, heat is the heat number you have is how many cards your opponent gets to look at, either off the top of your deck, from your hand, or from your face down discard pile, known as the archives. Any cards that were face up when they were destroyed are exiled. They don't go to the archives. And a brain fart there, even though I just said it a couple seconds before. So, your thoughts on him? Because, I mean, we've played these multiple times.
I think Chairman Bopal is a decent card or decent Seeker. I just think that they are, in the preview decks, kind of underutilized. I don't think we're able to really get off of their Seeker ability as often. I think it's very conditional, right? You can get their front row filled first to give a heat to your opponent, which, again, I feel like is, to me, very glass cannon-y, right? Like, there's nothing that you can really build a strong strategy on unless there's something that either deals with removal of your rival's front row or maybe just, right, giving you shards, right? You generate shards somehow, and then you're able to kind of, wipe the cards off, from your rival's front row. So I think that's something that, like,
well, we know they're supposed to be old money, right? So I'm thinking we'll see more as we go along with these green cards that are being revealed and spoiled. But I have a feeling they're going to be about setting up your grid state so you can earn lots of money. And there was points in time where you and I were making so much money we had more than we honestly knew what to do with. And if that's green stick, then it's not far-fetched to say, you put stuff up there, I have the money just to get rid of it.
Yeah.
Like the one that was 1 and 4. A green deck running on all cylinders is going to look at that and go, okay, here's 5, get rid of that shit.
Yeah.
Like,
sure. Yeah.
Now, and you got an extra heat. Because if you're like, okay, how one gets heat. So let's say we're at 0 heat and Steven's fighting me and he wants to give me 1 heat. He has to pay 1 plus the number. So another way I like to think of it, because that seems weird, it makes sense, and I think it's the appropriate way to say it, but the way my brain it clicks in my brain is, what is the number going to? Pay that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to 1, I pay 1. It's going, if I'm at 1 and it's going to 2, I pay 2. 1 plus the number it is just seems kind of clunky to me to say out loud. Of like, what are you hoping to bring their heat to? Pay that. But there might be cards that could tax it or something along the way. I'm not even sure. So I think having it said that way allows for card effect to be present in your mind But as it stands right now with us playing the preview decks, either way is equally valid to say because there's nothing that would alter heat cost. True. So that we know about. Maybe through us taking this journey through Spoiler Town, we'll find out otherwise. But so the issue is, again, you heard us talking about how much 4 and 5 gold is, at least when we're playing these preview decks. So I want to get you're at 4, and I want to get you to 5. I got to pay 5 gold. Well, would it not be better to find your thing there, pay 5 to get rid of it, and then immediately tap
to exhaust
to exhaust him and immediately take you to 5?
Yeah, no.
Ultimately, it's me getting rid of something that's helping you and still reaping the benefit of 5 gold towards a heat generation.
True. No, that's a very fair point. I think that definitely works really well, like mid to especially late game.
Which is what I was saying. I think green is definitely a mid to late game. I would, based on what I know, I feel like orange could be aggro or mid. Purple seems to be aggro.
Yeah.
Blue seems to be late.
Yeah. And
green seems to be able to do mid or late.
Yeah.
That's my thoughts. Again, it could be wrong. But Chairman, it's so hard because I don't know how green is supposed to successfully go. I feel like I said, there's a way to gain action economy and resource economy on that if done right. I don't know if the game is designed to allow him to do my speculative thing where he can just wreck front row locations to gain to use that same money as a freebie later on for heat. If that's the case, great. If not, I'm not sure. So I'm going to give him a tentative 3.05 out of 5 on that one because he's better than average, but I don't know how good he is until we see constructed play.
I agree.
Cornering the market. Now, this is, I'm going to assume, is a moment, which is like the instance actions or sorceries or whatnot of this game. Because it costs 0, and it's rare to see anything that costs 0 that isn't in that category. So, what do we got? It is a moment. I was right. There's that curiosity 2. So this is something that would be second colorable, is what we'll call it seconded. Instant speed. After you complete a breach on commons, gain 3.
So this almost seems like a purple version or green version of a Fun Run.
It's exactly the green, unless Fun Run moved over. After you complete a breach on a commons. Yeah, gain.
Yeah, that's the exact same thing.
Oh, and that's the shards. Yeah.
Seems like it's the,
Maybe each faction has a version of that.
Yeah, I mean, which would be cool with me.
Or if it's only purple and green that have that, then that would be a nice hyper combo because you could corner the market while fun running.
Yeah.
That's like 4 out of 36 cards that can gain you 3 shards for your faster aggro push.
Yeah. So how many agents does it say is the requirement at the bottom?
Only 2.
Oh, that's not bad.
That's what I said. It's the second colorable, so I can see purple. We already said purple might grab into that one card to help with their aggro push, and then there's this one too. Yeah. On top of it,
that's nice.
4 purple, 2 green. I don't see being an unreasonable thing, depending on what the 5s and 6s are in purple that you would be giving up to go 4-2. I don't know.
Sure.
But I can't help but think if Fun Run is still going to be produced in-game as a purple card and you have cornering the market, I can't see, Alan's competitive side rant. When you have stuff that does the exact same stuff but in different colors and you can put both in your deck. So in a 40-card deck, let's say you have a 40-card deck and you're only allowed 2 ofs. And so, again, we have cornering the market there. And so you put 2 of it in your deck because it's a great card. Now you have a 1 in 20 shot from the initial drawing of your first card, then a 2 in a 1 in 20 or 2 in 40 shot on your first card, drawing it, and then a 2 out of 39, then a 2 out of 38, so on and so forth. And that's how you got to look at consistency when you're trying to see your outs. I need to draw this card in this matchup. What is the likelihood that I can draw it? How often can I draw it? What's the likelihood that I'll see it within the first X cards of the game?
Yeah.
And you got to be thinking of that. And you're not doing like complex probability math all the time, but you got to have a general idea. How consistently do you see your cards, especially your better cards? You don't have to have an exact number. Some people can't do that. That's fine, and they're still winning tournaments. But you got a general idea. How often do I see that card?
Right. Especially statistically speaking. And I don't know. Part of it makes me hope that they do have it in each faction, just because, like, it gives you that more versatility. I feel like.
But even if it's just purple and green, at that point, if you're green, unless gaining 3 shards for a card is not the oomph that I think it is, but there's a reason Black Lotus was banned.
Yeah.
There's a reason so many times free card for a large chunk of something, card draw or resource, mana or whatever, tends to be pretty damn broken. And if there's the only 2 colors that have it, well, again, we're happy to be wrong. We're going to go through all these colors, guys. Yeah. If that's the case, again, we'll go back to this. Now, Fun Run exists in purple. If I can go green, purple, purple, green, doesn't matter the order, whatever, I now have 4 out of 40 or 1 in 10 of drawing a card that does the exact same thing. Doesn't matter the color. I can put both colors in my deck.
Sure.
Now it's 4 out of 39. Then 4 out of 38. The chances that I've pretty much doubled my chances. It's not exact 1-to-1 double. It's not the way probability and statistics works. But oversimplification, the amount of increased consistency that you will see a card that lets me run on commons and gain 3 money for free for doing what I was already needing to do, put heat on my opponent, look for them agents, and then gain money as a side benefit. Like,
well, not to mention too, like, if I start adding 2 of each, right? Like, I don't think there's any rule that says I can't put 2 moments out in a row, right?
No, it just says after you complete a bleach.
To me, just me ringing some alarm bells possibly, I feel like that could put the opponent or your rival like at a strong disadvantage if you were to pop 2 of those off in a row.
Now, if every color has it, like
then fair game to everyone.
Well, yeah, it's just something everyone expects.
Yeah.
But also, that would make me really sad. Very sad, because there's nothing more than watering down. If everyone's just running that exact same card and then picking a second color and running the exact same card, then it's just kind of like, okay, you do yours, then I do mine. Like, it doesn't feel like everyone's doing their own thing. At least we're all doing the same thing.
Well, that, and it's like we're chasing each other to racing to the bottom at this point to some degree, like, I don't know. Because I'm hesitant. I'm really hesitant with that. So.
Because, again, if green, from what we're seeing, and man, we're really overanalyzing this card. I'm sorry, guys, but if you're catching us we're seeing these for the first time. This is not prep, so this is all off the top of our heads.
Yep.
If green is mid to late game, like we're thinking, they would be hard pressed to want purple if it's all like hyper aggro.
Right.
So at that point, if that's the case, and it's only in these 2 colors, green and purple, which we're going to work under the assumption of, because it's a sad day otherwise, because we've already agreed we wouldn't like watered down card pools. The deck that you would only worry about seeing that level of consistency in is the purple deck, which is also harming itself to get there. Which then, you know what? Sure, they get the gas pedal to be able to run both of those. That's fine with me because, like, where is it? Jaco and Ace, as you approach a district, you exhaust him and gain 1 heat. So you're already heating yourself, like making it easier for your opponent to find your stuff, giving him free money. Because ultimately, if you took it to 2, your heat was at 2, and you go to 3, you just gave your opponent 3 free money.
Sure.
Because he doesn't have to spend 3 to get you to 3. You did it for him.
Sure.
So you gain a heat, but it gives you 2 money, and you get to draw a card. So it's kind of like Black and Magic the Gathering, where you're sacrificing your life to do all this crazy stuff and kind of gain edges here and there, but it's a double-edged sword because you're harming yourself in the process. Similar ideology from what I can see, but so I could see like purple going green for that double layer because they know that if the game gets to mid to late, they're screwed because they're literally giving your opponent so much extra free money and heat.
Yeah. So if it has a chance for them to be even more aggro, or like you said, put the gas on their strategy, then yeah, by all means. But yeah, really hoping it's not in all 4 factions. I'm just want to put that out there. I think that's, like you said, going to water the game down, and it's just going to be a race to the bottom.
Yeah. So, because even then, if like I said, if green is like the slower faction, then they're not going to want to go into purple just for the consistency of money game. When a lot of their stuff like Shardrunner and whatnot gives them consistent money on board and not a one-shot effect. They'll be happy for that early game building with something like that, but they're not worried about long-term just constantly gaining money through cards as much as through grid state, I would say. So, I don't know. Then that means you're only looking at one faction that even does that higher level of consistency, even though 2 factions could.
True.
Until there's going to be enough expansions out that maybe someone breaks the game with green going into purple But that's card games for you, and I'd love to see that reality happen. He took a control deck and turned it into an aggro.
Yeah.
That's always the fun stories we all talk about later when someone like blows everyone's mind in a tournament. So if you couldn't have guessed where I'm about to put this card after our long-winded, huge rant, this card is getting a tentative 5 out of 5.
Yeah.
Only because I'm assuming that purple has it and 2 other factions don't. So, because this is the first episode, we haven't seen any of the other factions, and we're working off only the knowledge of us playing these preview decks on top of what we're seeing card by card today. Mm-hmm. If all 4 factions have a delve and gain 3, even if the other 2 factions gain when you do council, it doesn't matter. If they have, I get to successfully breach something, I gain 3 money, then this card goes down to a 3 of 5.
I agree.
But for its ability to work with aggro, and I'm a huge aggro player, I'm already seeing this as like, all right, well, I'm very highly tempted to go purple-green now.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat.
I'm already looking at that as like my 5 of 5. Like, I just got so much consistency, yo.
Oh, yeah.
Because we're assuming like it's a 30-card deck max, 2 ofs. And then 6 agents, right?
Yeah.
So, okay, that's 4 out of 36. That's a 1 in 8 on your very first card.
Which is crazy.
And then only gets higher from there.
Yeah. Yeah, because who knows what else is,
And by the way the mulligan works in this game, like, you're going to draw 5. And if you didn't see either one of your, God, I can't remember the name of the card other than it's money, cornering the market or your fun run, you could literally pitch all 5 cards and go 5 deeper, getting the first 10 cards of your deck, because those aren't shuffled in before you redraw.
That is true.
You literally see 10 of 36 cards, of which 4 of should be the card you're wanting to start your plush run.
Yeah, statistically speaking, yeah.
It's almost like, I'd almost say it's a near impossibility not to see 1 at that point within 10.
Yeah.
Like,
your odds are a lot higher to not get 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So, wow, okay.
Well, I guess the jury's still out.
Yeah.
We'll see what the other 4 factions have.
Crispy Crawler, okay. It gives you a shard, okay. It costs 1. Already, that's a good start. Yeah. To forge, it's 1. Okay, cash 2. As this is forged, place 2 resources here. We'll have that conversation in just a sec. Let's continue on. Instant speed. As the round begins, remove 1 from here, gain 1. You don't exhaust it for that. It just comes off of it, so you can still be gaining the 1 off the thing.
Yeah.
It is a location. It only costs 2, but it does have a presence removal of 2.
Mm.
So your opponent would be well invested the turn that gets forged to immediately go and drop it before you can start gaining additional money. Because even if you tap it or exhaust it to gain the 1, it pays for itself.
True.
At that point, you're going, you're going to let me get free money because I've already paid it. I've already got my money back.
True.
Now, this is a great forge as your last action card. In the last action, if you're the last turn player, that way your turn starts and then you get that free money off and your opponent can't do anything. So you at least get one of the 2 free money. It's paid for itself. You're free money up and you can choose to exhaust it and get an additional free money. So you're up 2 by the time your opponent can try to kill your ability to go up 2 more because you'll get 1 on the following turn. Mm-hmm. So I can see this seems like a great end of turn thing, but I agree with you. I know you're asking where do you place the 2 from. I'm hoping it's from the ether.
Yeah.
If it's from your own money, that would suck.
Yeah.
But it doesn't say...
I think it is from the ether. Like, you'd put a counter on top of it.
Yeah, that's what I'm
2,
thinking.
and then as the round would begin, you'd remove 1 from that cash, and then I'm assuming...
It would have to say from your pool otherwise, because otherwise, if it was supposed to be from your pool of your own resources, and you just went vague and did not declare the specificity of where it's coming from, I would be in a tournament going, well, it doesn't say it comes from my pool. It just says, put 2 money here.
Yeah.
I would argue that it doesn't until someone like Corey or Andrew gets on the forum and goes, this is how it's supposed to work, guys. Yeah. So I can't help but the fact that it's termed so vague that it is ether, because I feel like if it was supposed to come from your opponent's pool or from my pool or anything janky that would mess with people's economics, it would be specifically worded, because otherwise it would be too crazy.
I agree.
So, okay, 1, you get 2 ether coins that are going to go on it that could possibly reward you, but it pays for itself because you can literally tap it at instant speed after you forge it, which is an instant speed 2, to forge a card. This is one of those we're happy that you discovered because you're looking for agents and you can pay the 2 before they can even gain money off of it. They've spent the action, but they didn't pay for it. But they also aren't going to get any net benefit off of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, not bad. I would say a solid 3.5, honestly. 3.5, 4.
I think this is a solid 4. Trying not to be too high, but only because it's a 2.
Yeah.
So this could be helpful to other factions as well as green. I feel like because it's so cheap, it gives you a money resource and possibly other future resources. It only requires 2 agents to dip in for that. I think because we've had a couple other really good 2s, like cornering the market and whatnot. I can see this being just as helpful for green as it is for other factions. So I'm going to give that a 4. Okay, we know this guy, the disagreeable inspector. So 1 for 1 there, and it has an instant speed as you confront a card. So I'm confronting the card in the lane and about to need to go through its confrontation abilities, then the obstacle cost, then I have the option to pay its presence to get rid of it. Or score it if it's an agent.
Yeah.
So when I'm confronting one of my opponent's cards there, I can exhaust the disagreeable inspector or tap it, and that card gets -2 obstacle costs. So if it had a 2, you don't pay anything. It had a 3, you pay 1. Pretty great.
Yeah.
Because it can help you get to those seekers, because a lot of times we just talked about Gargala Larga having a 4 obstacle cost, which is a really hefty, but he's your win condition.
Yeah.
You got to score him. Would you rather not have a disagreeable inspector in play that you could pay 2? I mean, not pay 2, but tap him to only pay 2 to get past Gargala Larga and then pay 1? You just went from needing to have 5 to only needing 3.
Sure.
And when he's not needed, he's gaining you a shard a turn. Yeah. So, kind of he's versatile. Not wasted space. And because he's a cost 1 with a shard 1, if you play him right, the turn he comes into play, he pays for himself.
Exactly. Yeah. So I would say he's a 5 in my book.
And he is only 1 on the pips of agents to be able to cross. He's a 5 because he's so helpful for any color.
Yeah.
He is unilaterally a good card.
Hands down.
1 for 1 with only 1 pip requirement. He still has the 2. I'm just kind of comparing him to because they didn't have pips yet on the preview decks because that wasn't, they were just there to show you. They weren't there to be correct or anything like that. So just making sure nothing's changed. Like I'm comparing one to the other there. Okay. Yeah, he's solid. And, I'm going to be honest. If you've watched our playcast, Steven and I gladly play 2 to get rid of each other's disagreeable inspectors mid to late game. It's just a needed thing. You might leave them early game, but...
Yeah, you can't leave them on the board late. It's...
All right, Forced Liquidation. That's a 3-coster, so this is probably going to be a hefty ability because that's a hefty cost. Yeah. Is it a moment? It is a moment. Oh, this is 6 pips. This is their 6.
Whoa.
You got to be all in green.
All in green.
Okay. Instant speed. As you approach a forge card, so the approach should be the instant window because you confront once you actually are on it.
Yeah.
So I would say you're in the approach, so that way I think that's going to make this card a little fairer. Mm. I'm not purposely reading on just to make this comment, because at least if it's in the instant window, once they pull this banger of an action, you still have instant windows to try to do something to counter what they're about to do to you. It's not like, well, shit, we're in the middle of a confrontation already. I'm past the instant window.
Sure.
So as you approach a forged card, exhaust a forged card with 4 obstacle cost or more in your grid. So
that's a Gargalarga right
there. Or some of the other beefier ones, because this can go to the transit station can go to 3, and if it has asset protection next to it, then it's 4.
Yeah.
So, but this goes in when I thought that grid building was going to be a huge thing. Their 6-coster seems to confirm that because you should be able to. My thought is, if you see something that requires you to be monocolor, you can tell what their theme is supposed to be from a monocolor only card.
I agree.
Or more in your grid. So it's got to be in your grid. It's got to be forged too. So even if I had him and had a 4 obstacle cost, and we'd have to call a judge over so he could see what it is, or whatnot. They made sure it was forged, so you had to spend the money on it. It needs to be in play. It's important because by exhausting it, your opponent has the ability to jump over it if it's forged, and he knows what it is. And 2, by being exhausted, that 4 obstacle cost can be jumped over. So you're weakening your defenses temporarily to get this effect through on the offense. So what's it do? Archive the approach card.
That's crazy. So even if you didn't know what it was, you could just immediately archive it away, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying it has to be forged. It's not saying it has to be unforged. It's just any card. So I think that's pretty strong. But you get something like an Eye Enforcer underneath, and you don't want to.
You don't have to pay the 3 to get it by him.
I think that's an Eye Enforcer, and just send them to the archives. I think that's a solid card. But definitely, again, it definitely has to have that, green through and through strategy behind it, right? Like you said, building the board, building your grid, building barricade costs on each of your sources, and just making sure that you're holding true to that color. I think that's. I would say it's a solid 3.5. I mean, just with it being so
3.5 too, because it's monocolor, so it's not going to be tapped into by anyone else.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't seen anything other than Gargalarga, which we haven't seen him in the previews yet. We just know from the preview deck.
Yeah.
So we haven't seen him from these spoilers here. Is the only thing that could even match that without needing a transit station in the middle row with an asset protection station adjacent to it. That's a lot of work for this card to come off at 3. So I'm actually going to go down further. I'm going to go tentative 3 for now. Once we've gone through the spoilers, I might come back and adjust Forced Liquidation.
Yeah.
I will say this though. I want to read something. As you approach a forge card, this has more benefit, I think. I can say this is another way. See, green's supposed to have like a ton of money, so I don't know. At least in my thoughts, I see green having lots of disposable income when they're firing right. But I could also see situation like Kaiser the Rat. He's got a 3 obstacle cost and he has a 3 presence cost, so he'll cost 6.
Sure.
So, what if Kaiser the Rat is behind like 2 different like things? Would it not be better to pay money to get rid of that thing so you could use your Chairman Bow packs because you've cleared that out? Use your money to get rid of that thing there, but now you've probably spent like 10 money to get through their 2 barriers that they used to. Then you pay the last 3 of your money to archive the Seeker.
Yeah.
Because once you do a run on his archives, he's free.
Yeah. No, which honestly makes perfect sense. Like that to me is a great strategy. Yeah, I kind of see that then. Yeah.
It could be used to stop turtling.
Yeah.
And if a deck's mid to late game like we're anticipating green is, then you're going to need answers because you're letting your opponent dig in too. And so control, which is a late game strategy. So guess side tangent guys about competitive card games. Most of you probably already know this, and I'm sorry to beat a dead horse on you on this. Most card games tend to have 3 prevalent multiple strategies, but they tend to fall into 3 groups. Aggro for decks that are going to try to win in the first couple turns of the game. So let's say a game lasts 9 rounds on average. An average game should never go more than 9 rounds or 9 turns for each 9 of your turns, 9 of your opponent's turns if you're not sharing, or 9 joint turns if you share. Doesn't matter. 9 total turns for each player. A game shouldn't go past that. Some might, but you shouldn't on average. An aggro deck is going to try to win in turns 1 to 3. A mid-range deck is going to try to win on turns 4 through 6. And a control deck is going to try to win on turns 7 through 9. And they'll usually do it because they have stuff that requires a long setup to get going. But if things require a long setup, you're kind of exposed for 6 turns of the game, waiting to get to where you could possibly even think of winning. Well, how do you get there? It seems to me like someone will just stomp your head in before you can get to that. Most decks in competitive card games have always gone about this in certain ways. Whether it's having board removal where I kill everything in play, including my own guys that are in there. Targeted removal, removing specific threats. Counter spells where I play this action that says your action doesn't happen, negates it, but that's all that my action does is negate your actions. It's to stop you from getting key advantages so I can survive long enough to get to the end of the game and win there. So with this, we haven't seen any kind of like P-kill cards or anything like that. Now we've seen things that could archive cards off the top of the deck, or this card that could archive a card that you're about to that you're approaching. But we haven't seen like, destroy all the front row of your opponent's thing. And I mean, who knows? Maybe we will. We haven't seen anything other than preview decks and a few green cards. So this to me is solid because it's answering to me that this is not only green is a long range deck, but this is one of their how do I deal with an entrenched opponent or even a mirror match. If you're both green players, you're going to have this crazy obstacle-y mishmash of 9 cards.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting.
So it seems like this is like that one of those answers.
I agree.
The how do you get over all that?
Yeah, I'd say it's a solid card. Yeah, solid 3.5, 3. Yeah.
So I'm going to put it at 3 because it is a good answer card. I don't know how much it's needed based on green's ability to generate money, so that's why I'm valuing it down to 3. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I'm agreeing with you. It's better than 2.5. It's not average, sure. But we haven't seen anyone else's 6 cards too, so we don't know how much a 6 haymaker is supposed to go for.
Yeah.
So, we'll see. Franchise fees, 0 cost. I'm starting to think that the certain symbols mean something. So
I think
it's
that's
like
instant.
Yeah, like that's the moment
or
card.
the moments. Yeah.
So okay. So franchise fees. Now this is an action, so you actually have to spend your action to do this. Exhaust a card in your front row. Again, that works with chairman, like being front row forward.
Sure.
Gain 4 money.
Yeah, that's solid. Exhaust card in the front row. I'll take that. What's the pips?
3.
Okay, not bad.
Not bad. I don't think with it being an action.
Yeah, I think that to me has a drawback to it. Like,
you
got to be very considerate. Yeah,
you're not going to go 3 agents in for that.
No, I think that's an average card, if not slightly under, in my opinion.
I think it's not under if you're needing money to blow up your opponent's front row.
Fair enough.
For chairman. So I see it working with like chairman and what you're trying to do with chairman. Mm-hmm. I just, again, you get cornering the market and that. How much do they need actions that get them money?
It's true.
Versus, I already know they got shard winner, but again, your opponent can go right to killing it. Same with disagreeable inspector. I get that too, guys. I don't know.
Just average.
Okay. Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. I started jumping forward. We have not given our ratings on that. I'm going to say 3. Solid 3.
2.5.
2.5, you're going to put it on the dead meter.
Yeah.
All right. Frost. It looks like this guy is going to be an agent. He is? Okay. 2 cost. So, okay. I guess side tangent here. Let me pull out the 6 seekers that they gave us, or agents, sorry, that they gave us to put in these preview decks. So we have, I'm not going to go over them all in great detail, but usually you can see 0, 1, 2, 3, 3, 4. So we know some can cost 0. Like 0 is a minimum, as a threshold. They have made a card that's 0 for an agent. But we also seen that they made an agent that costs 4.
Sure.
I don't know if there's a 5 or 6 one lurking in these previews waiting for us, but we're working under, the reason I wanted to show that is we're working under a generic assumption of where our threshold is. So we know 0 to 4 should at least is the realm of what agent could be. So 2 is right there, kind of smack dab in the middle. Yeah, it's literally smack dab in the middle. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So, yeah. It's mid on cost. Pax Lictor. Exhaust this card and choose a player. Archive the top 2 cards with their commons.
Wow.
And now I can already tell you that this might incentivize blue. They seem to want to mess with the archives a lot. Agree. So if they were going to go into another color for an agent, this would be an agent that seems to be working in their threshold. I agree. If this is discovered, archive the top card of engaging players' commons.
That's even better.
And now, what I see too is a 3 obstacle cost. Mm-hmm. It draws a card.
Yeah.
And then has a 2. So we're looking at a 5, which is not easy to pay for in play. 2 is easy to get rid of in the hand, which at least you're going to get to archive one of their cards when they find him. No cipher. But this seems like one of those cards you want him in play. You either exhaust him to get 2 cards off the top of their commons into the free pile. Mm-hmm. Which, okay, like, here's me. I got Frost in play here on the front row, which is insane, but whatever. Face up, and there's my Chairman Bopax here is my Seeker. I'm doing a run on your commons. I look for deep, and in the top 2, I found an agent, but it is Aunt Ruthie, who has the cipher engaged player loses an action, and I can't pay that action right now.
Yeah.
So I got to put it back on the top 2 cards of your deck.
Yeah.
I exhaust him immediately in the instant window. Oh no, it's an action. You would have literally 1 action to prevent me from getting that in the archive,
Sure.
so I can go running for it
Sure.
free at a later turn and not have to worry about the money. So, like, if I look out but I look at it the wrong time and don't have the money, his ability to like maybe dip that into the archives and make it free later on, at least I know I put it there, and you can't. As far as we've seen thus far, again, we've only looked at the greens. We have seen no indication that there's any cards that would take a card from the archives and get it back to your hand or in play. Once it's there for good.
True.
And if I can put that there and get to it when I need to, I don't care if you pile a bunch of extra cards in the archives at that point to try to. I'll eventually get it. I know where it's at. It's not going anywhere at that point. You can't manipulate it any further.
No, which is nice. I like that. I think that this agent is very versatile.
He would be like a 4 or 5 to me if he gained a shard. But again, I don't know how much card draw is valued.
Yeah.
Because it's the card draw, because archiving, the fact that it's an actual action to do it, it's not instant, to exhaust and archive. So you got to choose your card draw or that.
Right.
On top of the fact, we don't know how, outside of that edge case thing I just talked to you about, I'm going to say 3. I feel like he's good, but he's not. He's like edge case.
Yeah, I would say he's 3.
Okay, we've already talked about him long and hard, but 3 cost Gargala Larga, Imperator of Growth. And you can, at instant speed, exhaust him to unexhaust your Seeker, which is great. Like, let's say, again, I've set up the situation where I can tap as an action Chairman Bo and give you a heat. You went to 4 to 5. I just saved 5 money. You now see Gargala Larga in the back, hidden behind a couple obstacles. You know I'm not going to tap him yet because you could possibly play a card and rebalance out the front row state. But you also know that if you do not rebalance the front row state, I have the option at instant speed to tap Gargala Larga and untap my Chairman and then retap my Chairman or exhaust my Chairman a second time, and they'll give you 6 heat, saving 6 money in the process. So, or we've seen it, Gargala Larga, I've used him in at least one game where I got Goldie activated, and I was just like, let's go on the Goldie train.
Again,
like,
and then off to the races.
Yeah, so I do like this card. I'm going to put him at a 4. I had, just from playtest experience, I have a lot of really fond memories of what he can do, so... How about you?
I like it. I think the solid card. I mean, he's a 3 cost of barricade.
I guess we should finish showing the card. We already knew the cards. 3 obstacle cost. He can gain you a money every turn,
which is solid. And then his presence is 1. I'm sure.
But he has changed. He's not the guy we thought he. Or no, what's the
engaging player exhaust their Seeker. That's the cipher.
Okay. That's the other thing about him. I guess we should explain. So Cypher, when you're trying to score an agent, you have to pay their Cypher cost as a part of the confrontation. And that's, you pay it. The reason it's not a confrontation ability is because you pay it even if you discover it in the deck, even if you discover it in the archives, or even if you discover it in the hand. No matter where you find them, that cost has to be paid.
Which is pretty good, right? Like if I'm not thinking about it, or you come across him unexpectedly, right, and you have your Seeker tapped or exhausted in this case, like you're gonna end up not being able to get rid of him, which is gonna build up some sort of strategy or time for your opponent to either take him out of your rival's purview or
move him somewhere else.
Shenanigans. Yeah. So I think there's definitely a lot of versatility with him.
Yeah, that was throwing me off for a second. I'm like, what the hell is that?
For a minute I had to think about it.
Of course, it gives you 1 pip because it's one agent.
Yeah.
Oh man, if they make like an agent that you get it and you get 2 pips for that one,
That'd be crazy.
You'd have to get like some super negative benefit. 6 cost. Let's see what the pip costing on this is. This is 6. So not only does it cost 6 money,
Wow.
it's 6 pips.
Wow.
This is a mono green card. Pax Observatory. Wait, was his name? Yeah, Chairman Bo Pax.
Yeah.
This is his shindig, yo. Chairman Bo Pax, the heir of Pax to Pax Industries. And this is their observatory. All right. So 6 cost. Instant speed as you refill actions during the refresh phase. Increase the number you refill to by 1.
Wow.
So you go up to 4 actions.
Wow. That's crazy. And
it draws you a card every turn.
That's ridiculous.
And Bo draws you a card every turn. So between those two, you're at 4 actions, 2 cards a turn. It has a cipher cost.
Engaging player exiles 1 card from their grid. So we know, for those that don't know, exiling is like the card is gone for good. There's no way you're getting that card back.
And it doesn't even help you because if it archives, it's in there in a pile to randomly find whatever you need. So it can kind of make bad draws when you're trying to find your enemy's agent in the archives. So if you're looking, I know you put 1 agent in your archives. For however I gain that knowledge, I know. If you put 5 more cards in the archives, I now got to find 1 card out of 6. So archives can, even though it sucks to lose something you spent money on to go to the archives, it's still helping you slightly.
True.
By making it that much harder to find things that the opponent hopes to find. This is just boom.
No, yeah.
But the engaging player has to choose to go for that card, go for the cipher cost, and gets to choose the card that they're going to exile.
True.
So it's not like a targeted removal thing where I'm like, ooh, that's rough.
Yeah.
You literally could get rid of any little silly dinky thing, like your transit station, whatever. I paid 1 for my transit station. It's worth it to get this card out. But I will also say its presence cost is 6 too.
Yeah. It's a lot. Like, right, that's your bang for your buck. So you're gonna.
They have to pay exactly what you paid to see it go bye-bye.
And also, when you're putting it out there, right, like, kind of has some long-term value, right, going forward. You still have to wait for that trigger to occur on the refresh phase to get that 4th action. So pretty impressive.
But again, this is where you and I advocate last action, first action.
Yeah.
This card does not get played and forged, or you could play it if you're feeling really risky, but you do not forge it unless you're the second turn player and it is your last action.
True, yeah.
Because then you will do it, you will draw a card, you will immediately hit the refresh phase, go to 4 actions, and can draw another card with it before your opponent can pay 6 to go, I hate you so hard right now.
You're like, damn it. Yeah.
Because it has no obstacle cost. So you're not losing the obstacleness of it. No. And so if your opponent wants to pay the 6 to get rid of it, they got to pay the 6 to get rid of it and exile a card.
Yeah. And that's tough. That's a real tough, barrier to overcome, in my opinion. I think for the 6, like, to me, that's like, maybe I'm giving too high of a score on this. I would just give it a 5.
I'm just wondering if an exhausted card can do what it does. It does not require exhausting in its cost, but if the card is exhausted, like you drew a card, do you get its floating ability because it's exhausted?
I would assume you would.
I would too.
Assume because
that would be the only thing that would balance it out.
Yeah.
Like, it would be if you have to keep it untapped to get your free action. 3 out of 5. If I can draw cards with it and get my free extra action each turn, 5 out of 5.
I would say it's a 5. I think it's more of the latter.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the rules lawyer in me. Like, when stuff is a little vague, I'm like,
yeah. I mean, hopefully, that proves to be the case. But like, we've seen that, like, when things are exhausted, they're kind of just left.
Another
agent.
Yeah, I'm going to let you read the next couple here because I've been spending all this time yammering my mouth.
Cost of 3, Prime Treasurer Gil, the Munificent Financier.
Yeah.
While this card is forged, each other agent obstacle in your grid gets +1 barrier. So literally, you could have this card face down
in your archives
yeah,
in the bottom. Well, no, it's when it's forged.
when it's forged, yeah. So
If he's face up in the bottom corner of your archives, which, depending on your matchup and overall from what we've seen, is the weakest of the 3 lanes. Like, you don't want to have to usually go for archives unless you forced an agent to get into the archives. You really don't care about the archives. Yeah. You're only going into the archives because of something like this mother.
Yeah, that's in there. Yeah, you're like, let's get this out there. And then look at that second ability, right? Discover. If this card is in your grid, gain 4 shards. Like, that's crazy. I would love to have a card like that, right? If this card is in your grid, just gain 4 shards.
I'm glad they put it in the grid because that'd be so shitty to find in the hand or the deck.
Yeah, that would
just give your opponent 4 free money. Like, that's like the Iron Forces, which we'll get into in our blue episode. But they have something where it's like, if this is discovered in your grid, because the ability is so good, it would just be like shitty as hell. Yeah. Like, and pardon my language, I'm trying to avoid cussing, but it would be terrible to see that happen anywhere other than the grid where you've at least spent the action to face down that sucker.
Exactly, yeah. And then you even see, too, it has a money, right? So it can gain you a shard every turn and has a barrier cost of 4. And then if we scroll down...
but let's take some bids. What do you bid to counter 3? He's already got a 4. He has these abilities and a gold. What do you put his presence at?
Probably 2.
I'm going to put 1.
All right, maybe 1. Yeah, let's see.
I can't help but think that they got a... Yep, you were right. You were on the money there.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's going to take 6 to get rid of them.
Unless you got disagreeable inspectors.
Yeah. That's... I mean, to me, that's a solid card. I'd give that a 5 out of 5. I don't know. Maybe I'm hyping that. Maybe a 4. Just because maybe there's some conditions to it. But I feel like, again, it's promoting green. It's promoting building up barriers or the barrier costs on adjacent cards and agents. And then it also has that, hey, you found me, you got me. If I don't have him, forged yet for gaining 4 shards, I think that to me offers some versatility. You either want to use him as a, hey, I'm out here, come get me, or both, right? You hold them, until late game and then flip them.
I know this is going to be crazy, but I'm only going to value on the 3.5, and I have good reason for it. Okay. I've now got 3 green agents. Mm-hmm. And I'm thinking of it for green. This is great in green. Mm-hmm. If this was only playable for green, I'd 5 out of 5 it because that does everything green wants to do. But I'm also trying to value agents because we've already talked about the need to dual color.
Yeah.
And so I'm looking at the 3 agents and going, I want 2. Which 2 would I pick as another faction with no knowledge of all the other cards they got, just preview decks of the colors? Mm-hmm. And I would say the other 3 colors do not care that damn much about their grids.
Fair enough.
That green does. So if I were to pick 2, I would pick Gargala Larga because it's going to give me my Seeker, double actions on my Seeker. Yeah. It has a Cipher, which can make it hard to get into.
And he gives you a shard.
Yeah. And then the Frost, who also gives you a shard, is only 2, so it's cheaper.
True.
Can Archive, which is at least an edge case thing that you want him to be. And what else did he do? Dang, damn it. He's up here. Okay, yeah. He can archive. If discovered from the deck, he can still archive. Do the thing. He does a card draw, though. But still, 3-2, he's 5. This was 4-2 at 6. I don't know. I don't know.
I think that to me,
you take Prime over Frost.
Yeah, I would. I really would. And I don't know. I still think, like, and hear me out, like the orange. There's still a lot that goes into. There's still a lot of like grid shifting around that you could have occur with orange, right? You got like your what is it? Your pathway. Your your waterway
shifting manipulations.
Yeah. I just think there's still some stuff going on with orange that would be good. You got I believe your canal network too. So like those I don't know. I see some versatility with Prime, and I feel like too he can be a moving target that your rival focuses on, and they're going to end up looking at that maybe a little bit more closely than maybe some other agents that you have in your hand or on the grid.
Yeah, makes sense. So next up,
Print on demand, 0 cost because it's a moment, and it has action. Search your commons for a source, show it to another player, and stage it. And then you shuffle your deck. It has 5 pips, and it will probably be with a source going to be like a character, right, or a person. So kind of specific because sources
looks
are
like Persona says source.
Yeah.
So sources are the people. Because in that same slot you have obstacles, so it's obstacles, sources, and moments.
Yeah.
And seekers and agents. Yeah. So those are all the 4 titles or the 5 titles. So it would be the dudes like your disagreeable inspector, your shard winner is a source. Nice. So you're going to show it to your opponent. So it is a tutor, and you are showing what you're tutoring. Yeah. Which makes sense because a source is a specific thing, so it prevents cheating. Someone can't grab an obstacle and go, I grabbed a source.
Yeah, true.
So, you have to show it to your opponent. This is the source I'm getting. Okay, now I'll put it. Then it says, show it to another player. So I show it to my opponent.
And I'm going to put it out there.
And then you stage it face down.
Yeah.
So this is the other great thing about that. What is staging?
Staging is essentially setting up your grid without your opponent knowing. I mean, your opponent knows what that card is, but
right. Well, what is stage cost normally?
Nothing. I mean, cost and action is a free action.
So this is not only as an action searching your deck, but giving you the stage is free. It's almost like a telemill.
Yeah, essentially, yeah.
Because you're literally going, I'm going to get to look through my entire deck for the card I want, and I don't have to wait to spend another action later to stage it. Mm-hmm. I'm getting to do that right now in the same action window.
Yeah, which is really awesome. I like
but you are giving your opponent the knowledge that it's there so they can mess with it. Because, again, if I show you I got this 2-cost disagreeable inspector, this 2-cost shard winner, and I go, hey, this shard winner that's going to make me all this money and you really hate me for having this card in my deck, I'm going to put it right there.
Yeah.
Your action, I think I'm going to go right there.
Yeah. Yeah, and again, it's got 5 pips, so it seems like it's still relying heavily on green. So, I mean, I would say a solid 3.
I haven't seen much of anything to suggest that, at least in green that we've seen thus far, that suggests that you could bleed 1 pip into 2 colors. It seems 2 is like the minimum.
Yeah, minimum for most, yeah.
Yeah, so if that was the case, like, you're literally looking at mono green again, which would make sense. They're all about being the old rich people that have controlled the galaxy for so long. Sure. So, yeah, they have the ability just to make things happen that other people can't. Like, I want to go on they're the Jeff Bezos. Yeah. Like, I want to spend $50 million and go on a super yacht and have while the world's on fire and have a wedding. Go for it. You got the money. You're rich. You're like, whatever. You crazy rich people and your ability to do whatever you want whenever you want and have no repercussions for your actions. So, it seems like a mono green thing.
Yeah, very much so.
I'm going to give this because it seems mono green, so I'm not going to judge it by the sphere of influence. Mm. If I see it's mono, I'm going to judge it by what it does for green. Mm. Tutors, I have made so many tournament wins because a deck gives me the ability to look at the top 5 cards, pick a card, put it in my hand, and then put the other on the bottom of my deck. Or search my deck for a specific card type, show it to my opponent, put it in my hand. The ability to do that so you can consistently have the card you need when you need it, because you're either going to draw it or you're going to draw the card that lets me go through my deck and find it and then still have it. I have, consistency of outs. Because this, let's say you need your shard runner. You went from having 2 shard runners in your deck to theoretically 4 shard runners. You have 2 of that, which in this particular matchup is 2 shard runners
Yep.
because you need that shard runner. So now in your head, you have 4 shard runners. You're doing better than someone that can only put 2 shard runners in their deck. So, like, in my play experience from all the tournaments I've played, and many have won, the ability to add consistency at a higher level, especially ones that let you search your entire deck for a card to get the exact card you want, even if you have to show it to your opponent, let them know you got it.
Sure.
What's it matter? If the card is supposed to help me win the game, my opponent seeing it coming, you should expect it coming.
Yeah.
Like, again, let's say that Sharder says, if tap this, and if you're a purple, and if your opponent's playing purple, they lose the game. Then if the purple player comes at a tournament and sees I'm playing green, it doesn't think I'm playing the card that says purple loses the game, he should expect that that's in my deck.
No, 100%.
So he, like, me showing him, hey, that's coming. Yeah, I already knew you were running that because it destroys me. Yeah. You know, he's already expecting it's coming. You're just showing him it's there.
Exactly, like, especially when you're aware of the meta, too.
Like, when you're aware of the cards and you know what the opponents can play because you're aware of the card pool. So that's my other viewpoint on these kind of cards. Like, even if you show it to your opponent, good opponents know that card should be in your deck.
Yeah.
They're expecting it. You're just letting them know you got it now. They don't have to ask the question, did you draw it?
Sure. Yeah. Solid 3 for me.
I'm going to put this at a 4 because I've won so many tournaments off the ability to consistently draw in the cards I need at clutch moments.
No, that's fair enough. I mean, that's good.
So here we go on the next one. So this one will be an obstacle, but go ahead.
Yeah, 0 cost, has a cash 2, as this is forged, place 2 shards on it. And then it has, you know what symbol that is? I'm assuming.
I think that might be the confront symbol because it's the only one that we haven't seen thus far.
Yeah, confront, remove 1 shard from here, gain 2 shards.
Oh.
It doesn't have a barrier cost. And then, I guess, our possible presence for that card is 4.
And it's only 1 to pip.
Whoa, that's kind of interesting. I mean, if we're understanding that symbol correctly, and it's a confront.
We'd have to because we've seen up to 6.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Which guarantees that that's how it works.
True. Yeah. I mean, to me, that's just like free money right there. Like free, easy money.
Again, this goes in with the other 2 cards that we saw that were 2 pips that aggro decks are going to want.
Yeah.
This is another one. Because, again, you're not caring about your grid state. You're caring about your thing. So if you put this in the way, you're doing 2 things. You're putting it in the way because you'll put it probably right there. Mm-hmm. You'll probably flip it up for 0 immediately. Yeah. You'll throw 2 cash on it. You'll cash to it immediate as you're supposed to. And you're going, you want to get towards my agents at the beginning of the game to equalize this because the hand is not as great in the beginning of the game to go after. Mm-hmm. And there's no archives.
Sure.
So you put it right there immediately. Your opponent has to confront it once. We'll confront it at least 1 time. So that's 2 free money. You're trading a card for 2 money, which is just as good as fun runs and the other one in green.
The marketplace, I think.
Something like that.
Yeah. Cornering the market. Yeah.
Do they spend 4 or do they give you another 2 free money on the next run and just give you 4 free?
I mean, it's tough.
Either way, it's good because you're
making them lose money and you're gaining money in the
because you're already sacrificing for money gains and card gains to get this early game.
And even if they try and get rid of it, you're going to get 2 money out of it right off the rip for confronting it.
And then they got to pay 4. Yeah. That's a 6 money switch.
Yeah,
they lose 4, you gain 2. You've spent nothing other than a card, but again, you're like with a Jackson
you just
Ace.
Widen the margin there.
Yeah, you don't mind losing a card. You're drawing an additional card turn just to gain speed.
Yeah. No, I like that. I'd say
that's a solid 5.
Yeah, that's a 5.
That's a solid 5 of 5.
All right. What's next? Probabilities exchange. There's a cost of 3. Has a confront cost. Engaging player shuffles 1 card from their grid into their commons. Ooh, that's interesting.
No, that's interesting. It's a little more fair than because if it put it into their archives, that would hurt.
That would hurt, yeah.
They get the card again.
Yeah,
eventually, theoretically, if they can draw back into it, you're shuffling it back into their deck.
Mm-hmm. And they get to choose which card.
Well, Depends.
Yeah, it depends on how many cards
I
they
see
have
this being
available.
in a first turn play for the green player.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Because you're gonna, if I was a chairman, Bo, I would be putting probabilities exchange right here in the top front here. I would immediately flip it, pay 3, and I would have that sitting there that you got to pay 1. We don't even know the presence of it yet, but you'd have to pay the 1. And if you're wanting to get towards my deck, you're immediately going to have to start shuffling cards. That's painful when you only got 1 or 2 cards at the start of the game. I've literally told you, you don't want. I'm locking this down. God forbid I draw in a second one, which I can.
Yeah,
it's not. That won't be a source. That'll be an obstacle. So I can't draw it with that 1 card because if I could, I wouldn't. I'd just be like, okay, you can do my archives if you want to delve.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Otherwise, you're just never going to have a grid. So have fun with that. Okay. Okay. Well, since we held off suspension here, let's play the betting game again. What do you bet on presents for a card of 3 with this
I'd
ability?
probably say probably a 3.
I'm going to put a 4 or 5 because 1 is such a weak way to get around something with a 3 cost.
Yeah.
4.
Okay. Oh, and it has a
cipher too.
Engaging player exhausts a card in their front row. Oh, this has just got more intense. But it looks like some of the drawback is it's 5 green pips. So you got 5 green pips. You got to be playing mono green long term. So,
but that again, every time we see something that's like 5 or 6 pips,
it's pretty.
It's about grid manipulation. Grid. It's all about the grid.
Yeah, I like this. I'd say solid 5 in my opinion. That's
yes. After the cipher cost, this is another 5. I really like this card,
hands down.
If it was going into other factions, I'd probably 3.5 it because it would be specifically kind of green only. You wouldn't want it in other factions, more than likely.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not possible. So, yeah, 5 definitely. Another moment.
Protecting our investment, 0 cost, instant. As a player confronts an obstacle in the grid, the obstacle gets 3 barricade costs until the confrontation ends. There's a 1 green pip. So
this is beautiful.
I think that's great. That's great for
anyone.
Instant. Like, hey, like I thought I had this much money or this many to pay to get over this, and now you just made me spend 3 more than I ever thought I had to, and maybe I'm not able to carry out what I
it's I would say the closest thing we've seen to qualifying as a counterspell in this game.
I agree. Yeah,
because it's going to be after the instant window, as you're entering confrontation, you're past the instant window, past the point where instants are played. It's a reactive that immediately says you're about to just back out now, and your delve's done.
Yeah,
which is the closest thing to a no, the closest thing to a counterspell that we see.
I agree.
Thus far,
I like that. That's 5 out of 5 on my book.
Yeah, and a 1,
yeah. 1 green pip, yeah,
and 0 cost. Like you don't even have to spend money on it. It's just literally a card to stop a delve.
No,
and when stopping a delve means that they don't get to see 4 of my cards, 1 card from my hand to say no, thank you.
Yeah, that's worth it.
That's chef's kiss.
0 cost, like let's do it.
Well, like even then, okay. There's times I wasn't able to get to your seekers right. For those of you that watched our last game on the. Which would have been episode 6 or 7. I don't remember.
6.
He knew where my seekers were, and I was able to thankfully use the capricious informant to get them out of there. So that way he couldn't win the game on that, and then I could win on the following action. Again, this is one of those cards. He knew where my seekers were because he didn't have the money at the time, but he saw them there.
Mm-hmm.
If I could pay a card from my hand to not just lose the game right then and there, I would be happy to pay a card from my game. Oh, yeah,
for sure, especially to stall. Yeah.
Yeah, so, like, I mean, just in our own play experience, there's situations where that would have been money.
Yeah, oh, yeah. 5 out of 5.
Mm-hmm. Pushy salesman.
4 cost. Confront. Engaging player may exhaust a card in their commons path if they do not end the delve. Interesting. Ooh. That's pretty rough, but I feel like more often than not, your opponent has a card in.
But the trick is remember the instant window right there. So you could, while they're in the middle of their delve, let's say it's the back card,
Mm.
you could be like, okay, you've spent all this money to get through obstacles here and here because you're wanting to get the commons, or you're maybe thinking this is an agent. Either way.
Yeah.
And then in this instant window, I'm like, boop, I'm going to pay 4.
Yeah.
I already see that you got none there, so I'm happy to do it in that situation.
Yeah. And, right, you get to discover if this card is in your grid, forge this card for -4 shard cost, then redirect engaging player to approach this card's grid slot. So they have to come back.
So what he's saying here is you have this face down, guys. Mm-hmm. They're going to go, you go, do you want to discover it? And they go, sure, because they're thinking it might be an agent.
Yeah.
You're going to flip this up and show it to them. You're going to get to forge this for free. It was 4, now it's free. Then it pushes them back to where the instant window slot is, but not giving them an instant window. Immediately forcing them back into confrontation with the card now face up.
It's already got a barricade cost of 2.
And it's going to have the engagement confrontation.
So it's going to immediately exhaust the card in their commons path.
Or stop the delve.
They can't, or stop the delve, yeah. And then let's see, for a cost of 4, what do you think the presence is going to be on this?
Well, the fact that it has an obstacle cost of 2 on top of that, I'm thinking we're looking at 5 pips, and we're going to look at 3.
Okay, I'm thinking 3 or 4. Yeah, 5.
4 pips.
Whoa,
okay.
But still 5 presence.
That's a push
versus 4. That's tough. That's a tough wall to get through. 7 if you're trying to kill it, but 2, on top of that, I think that's. To me, that's 5 out of 5. I'm really liking this green. I have to say, it's been nothing but gravy, if you ask me.
Mm-hmm. So rapid growth here. 1 cost moment. Action. Stage up to 3 cards. You can stage agents, obstacles, and sources. Making sure you understand what you can stage.
Right.
That's just normally the way it is, guys. You cannot stage moments, but it's making sure you understand, because it's giving you a stage outside the rules of staging, that it's following the rules of staging. So that's just kind of understood text, but these things are very important to do in card games, I feel. So you're pretty much trading a card and a coin to get 3 stages for 1, still giving you 2 actions for that turn.
Yeah, which is amazing. I mean, that's great card.
Again, Chairman...
building your board states here, right? Imagine staging
action
all
1.
These. Yeah, that's crazy. That's
action 1 is Chairman Bo, either as a first or second turn player.
Yeah.
Better as the first turn player.
Yeah. Better,
first turn, I pay 1 and pay this,
and then just increase the heat,
and then just drop 3 cards down in the front row, and I'm just like, especially if one of those 3 cards is Gargala. You didn't even actually say it has to be the front row, so I could literally, let's say,
go down a column. I mean,
go 1, 2. And then if I had Gargala Larga, go like 3, and maybe do it to where it's 1 on each of the, so that way they can't get maximized benefit on an early delve.
Yeah, that's
and if I did that, and put Chairman there, if I did that, and then like my next 2 actions would literally be Gargala Larga, give you a heat. And if you haven't done anything by then, flip up Gargala Larga.
Yeah.
And
exhaust on exhaust.
Exhaust.
Wow.
And immediately
great
do
combo.
it again.
I like that.
Like, and then you're just threatening 2 heat a turn, and then you could delve as the 3rd action.
Yeah, I think that'd be set.
It's so ridiculous. God bless.
I think, how much are we on time? I'm seeing.
It looks like we are past the hour mark. It might be an hour and 30 minutes.
Do you want to make like a part 2, or just see like how much?
Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, there's only 4 cards left, bro. Okay. So we'll do that. But okay. And this is 4 pips. So again, assuming that you need at least 3 pips in your faction to be worthwhile, you and I speculate it's going to be 4 and 2. We made that in a previous podcast at 4 and 2. Is probably, honestly, I doubt you can. Yeah. Because cards like this and a 4 of would make me say I want to keep 4.
Yeah.
Because if I was green, I would not be willing to lose this to go 3-3.
No.
So that in mind, that means this card is not dual colorable. This is meant for green primary. That's how we're going to treat the colors going forward, guys. 3 and less, dual color.
Yep.
4 and higher, we're assuming monocolor or primary.
Primary, yeah.
Which means still the green one color is only one utilizing this card.
True.
So with that in mind, I am going to give this a solid 5 because that's going to do everything Chairman wants to do and more.
Yep.
It can literally set momentum up on turn 1 of the game.
Which is crazy how much you can get for that for a 1-cost shard.
I agree.
We got a 3-cost Renovator Warland. He's Redev Mogul with an instant of after a card is archived or exiled from a grid, exhaust this card and choose a player. That player exhausts the card in the front row of their grid.
So I don't know for other colors what he'll do. I mean, he might work well in blue. But I will say this, with Chairman, he's going to be a green staple.
True, yeah.
Like, because he already got cards like that one, the Pushy Salesman.
Yeah.
And they're also going to have cards like the one that you literally can just, like, archive a card.
Yeah. And then it gives you a shard.
Mm-hmm.
Has a barricade cost of 4. I think that's pretty solid. I'm wondering what the presence is. Probably what,
2. So, yeah, it's how it balances out. That,
okay.
So if you catch him in the deck or in the hand, he's only going to be 2, which is great. With no cipher, again, I see him being green primary. Like
I see that as well. I think it very much focuses on the strategy of green, right? The board state,
the front row manipulation.
Yeah. I mean,
it could work in blue, though. If
It
blue
could.
was coloring into green, which I don't know which color they want,
Yeah.
like any given time, but if they are, because it says archived or exiled from a grid.
Yeah, I feel like it would play off blue. Though I could see it being really well utilized with blue.
Yeah, I don't know how much archiving from the grid blue would have.
Yeah, I don't know how much either, honestly. It might be like 1 or 2 cards, maybe, but I mean,
here's actually cute. This is cute, all right? Read how the first part. Go ahead and clearly, slowly read and let your mind percolate on the black text.
Yeah. After a card is archived or exiled from a grid, exhaust this card and choose a player.
A player.
Mm-hmm.
You could archive your stuff.
That is true.
And then choose them and hurt them for you archiving your stuff.
That's true.
They discovered your eye enforcers. You exiled them and take 2 cards from their hand and then tap this guy and exile.
That would be crazy. Yeah.
So I could definitely see blue taking this now. Now that I just thought of that, I was
that's actually pretty good. Yeah.
It was tricky because it's the A player and a card is exiled. They're not tied to each other. It's not the player that exiled it that's punished. So you can be doing your stuff and punishing them for doing what you're doing to yourself.
I like this. This is a good combo.
Yeah.
Combo card. I like it. Solid 4 out of me.
I would agree 4. I wouldn't give it a 5. Shard winner, we're going to already tell you that as of right now, there's no way, unless Steven's about to blow my mind, that we both aren't valuing this as a 5 of 5 card. It's money printed in the bank.
Mm-hmm.
Either of us go out of our way to destroy those cards whenever we can. But just to go over what it is real quick, 3 cost. If this card is in your council path, so the middle path leading to your hand, it gets an additional shard icon, so it's producing 2. So again, last action, first action. You're the last turn player, the second turn player with the last action of the game. You reveal the shard winner. You pay 3. You tap it because it's in your council path for 2. That means you get 2 money. So you've only technically spent 1 money now. Your turn starts again. It straightens. You have the first action in the instant window because tapping it for shards isn't even your action. It's just a product of the game. You immediately tap it again. You're now at 4 money. You have literally gained 1 money. Your opponent has not even had an action to do anything about that. This card is money. Because if you play them right, it'll always net you 1 before your opponent can even do anything about it. And that means they have to go out of their way to this council path, which is not necessarily the world's worst path to have to go for.
Yeah.
But still, they have to go for the council pad just to spend money to get rid of that. Not counting whatever. And if they were hoping to go anywhere else or do anything else, you're pretty much going, are you going to keep letting me have this? Are you going to let this become a runaway train?
Yeah.
Answer is more than likely not if you played against them enough like we have.
Yeah.
Now, if you do have the option, though, if your opponent's like maybe another green player and they have all the money for days and it's not going to do as much good to get to a turn, you do have the option of putting it in the commons path. And if you put it in one of the 3 slots here in the commons path, it does get +4 presence.
Yeah, which given its current presence of
2
right?
becomes
like
6.
It's beefy, it's going to give you at least 1 shard per round. So you're not really, it's not a bad trade-off.
Now, I do now bank it. I am now going to change my rating of it. It goes from a 5 to a 4.
Okay.
Yeah, it has 3 pips. If it was 2, 5. Because anyone could take 2 agents and grab a shard runner.
I agree.
You're going to have to detriment yourself to get into it outside of green. Now, it doesn't mean you can't. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the environment becomes 3/3 agent decks.
Yeah.
I don't know. But
I think that's a little tough, at least from what we're seeing right now.
Yeah, the 4s are doing so much weight.
4s,
yeah.
But
so I'm willing to be wrong. So I'll put it at a 4 because you're going to really have to hurt yourself. But it's money. It's money in the bank. That is a good card.
It's a great card.
Transit station. This is one we were talking about earlier. You pay 1. It's an obstacle. It has a 1 cost. And okay, that's still right. 1 presence. I was just comparing it to the card we had. If you put it in the very front row, it becomes a presence of 5, so it's very hard to kill, and it'll just sit there and tax the opponent for 1, which is a good thing. Taxing for 1 hurts.
Oh, yeah.
It's not fun.
It's painful.
But if you need to make it hurt more, you can put it in this middle row, and it gains obstacle +2. So instead of being a 1/5, it becomes a 3/1. Now, that being the case, your opponent will more than likely pay 3 to get over it and then pay 1 to immediately get rid of it. So you should only expect, if you're going to do that, that it's hitting 1 time. And it'll cost them a lot of money and be a barrier, don't get me wrong, but you're getting 1 shot out of it. Because after you pay 3, you're more than likely just going to pay 1 and never have to pay 3 again. If you pay 1 and you're looking at paying 5 additional, you're like, is that really needed? Or am I just good paying 1 over and over again? I have found in my own experience, the answer is you're probably paying 1.
Probably.
Now, that being the case, you could put it in the middle if you're green and you have that 1 card that gets +3 obstacle costs.
Yeah.
They're already coming at it like,
yeah,
I'm going to pay 3. You're like, how about 6?
Yeah, that would be yeah, that's why I think this is going to be great for green. I think green's really
solid. I'm going to 2 pips, though, so easy access for anyone, though.
Sure.
But that being the case, I am going to 3. It is a little better than I would say average. You know what? Actually, I'm going to 2.5 this one because
I would say it's average. I would agree.
Yeah, it's not doing anything spectacular, but it does. It's not bad.
No.
With this being an LCG, I'm not even sure we're going to find a bad card in the all 4 factions because there's no need to print commons.
No.
So you don't really have bears or chodes that you have to worry about to fill slots.
Nope.
But could be wrong. I would be happy that every card can at least be decent in its own right.
I agree.
Having a card set where I'm not like taking like 20 cards, putting them to the side and going, I'm never going to play with these cards ever.
Yeah, well then you think about a waste of money, right?
Yeah.
A waste of print, just print.
Well, like even L5R had those cards that would come out and you'd be like, there's no way I'll ever play these cards. Now, it took a while. When the first few sets came out, like, you had to play because there was only so many cards in the game, so you had to play some less desirable cards. But once the card pool got big enough,
you were like, all right, you knew which ones weren't. Yeah.
Just put you off into this binder and we'll forget you exist until eternity.
Yeah, right. Use them for some.
Anytime a new set comes out, you'll revisit them one time and go, did any of these become viable now? No. All right, we're good.
Awesome. Jeez.
Anyway, so another agent, which makes sense because you have to have at least 6 agents per faction. So, and this one's a lower cost one, so I'm really excited to see what this one does. Ulan Mar, 2 cost. He is an action to use his ability. Exhaust this card. Stage up to 2 cards. You can stage agents, obstacles, and sources. I mean, that's what we expect from green. It's literally 2-for-1. I'm paying an action and getting 2 actions for it. It's action economy. I mean, never is action economy a bad thing. Can you overdo it if you're not building your deck correct? Yes. But is it ever bad to 2-for-1? No. You should always try to strive for some 2-for-1s in your deck, because then you're gaining speed, momentum, tempo against your opponent. Okay, so we see the obstacle cost of 4, the barricade of 4, and it draws a card, so it's not giving you money, but I mean, with as many cards as you're staging and all this crazy stuff you're doing, I can kind of see card draw being more important, because you got these cards getting you 4 money here, 3 money here. Card draw is kind of, you got to have something to spend the money on.
Oh,
we got a cipher here, but only a cost of 1, so it's only going to be 4. He's front loaded on the barricade, low running on the presence.
But specifically, they have to exhaust a card in their front row. The engaging player has to exhaust a card in the front row. So they don't have anything in the front row, and everything's exhausted. Like, it's going to be tough to get rid of it.
Well, that one obstacle, the pushy salesman, that requires them to exhaust a card in their front row to get by.
Yeah, you could be great.
Right in front of this one. Like, you're going to need 2 cards to even get to this guy.
Yeah. I like that. That's so good.
Yeah, so okay. Good. He and Gargala Larga are like my 2.
Yeah.
If I was the 2, I would probably pick this one.
Yeah.
Just because it gives me action economy. I don't mind the card draw. He's a low cost, and that cipher is pretty sleek. Slick.
Yeah, that's nasty.
All right. Well, that was it for the green. Thank you guys for sticking in. It looks like we almost got 2 hours on this. It's an hour and 45. So.
Yeah, definitely a lot longer than we expected, but definitely well worth it. I think we had a lot of fun looking at each card and exploring kind of the different possibilities that they can go either with green itself, other color combinations, dual colors, but really honestly, really surprising, and to me and Alan, I think paints a clear picture of what green aims to be, and where we can kind of put our heads in terms of the strategy of the game going forward.
So. I agree. As always, thank you guys. Please, any comments, questions you have, you can write us at team.hisshou@gmail.com. That's team.hisshou@gmail.com. It's pronounced Team Hisshou. That is Japanese for certain victory. It's our competitive gaming team, one that we hope to see in the Ohio area, running things and helping grow the community once the game launches in 2027. First of 4, so looking forward to what we're going to see on these other 3 colors. And again, we're purposely starving ourselves from these, so when you get these, this is literally us seeing them for the very first time. Yep. Or if we saw them, it was in passing, and it's like in one ear, out the other, gone. But yeah.